Hello, 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 hello. My beautiful risers and prosperity builders, it is such a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. I have missed you all. But before I continue, let me first make sure that everyone is seeing me. So give me one, at least about 5 seconds, okay? I should get it right. So let's go. I hate why I have to do this, but this is how it works for me here. So the privacy, and we're gonna go public. And there we go. So we are on. Oh, there we go. All right. Welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placide. My name is Cindy Placide, and it is such a pleasure to be here with you tonight. You know, I took the week off because last month I basically took it off because I wanted to just have time for me to regroup and to be able to find myself again, make those creative juices flowing. So this is where I so that's what happened last month, and I'm sure you saw my videos and your side was in New York and having a good old time. So, but I'm back at work. I also was planning for this month, and this month we have such an amazing show for you. Amazing set of guests who are going to blow your mind away. So this is where we are. Let me first tell you that tonight we have amazing set of ladies, and you are going to hear some phenomenal stories. I know some of my guests, you have seen them before, but guys, get ready. If you weren't blown away before, get ready to be blown away. So let me introduce myself again. I am Cindy Placid. I am an author, poet, advocate. I am the author of two books. The first one is entitled When Life Stood in Silence, and this book was born out of grief and loss. Let me see if I can pull up the slides for you. This book was born out of grief and loss. Let me see if I can find it. And my from all the struggles that I've been through. And my second book, which is entitled A Mighty Calm, it was an uprising from that grief and that loss to find myself and my passion from find who I was as a person. So this is where I am. So guys, listen, I am from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia. I'm an advocate, I'm a poet, I'm an entrepreneur. I advocate for autism, for mental illness. I advocate for dwarfism, and there's so many other things that I advocate for. So if you just tuning in and you have not seen any of my shows, please be sure to check me out on facebook.com/Miss Placide. Okay, and my show is named Poetry and Perspective with Placide. You're gonna find some amazing things. Okay, so let's continue now, guys. I've had some amazing guests on this show, and every week this month we're going to have some amazing guests. So I plan to change things around, but today I'm just going to leave it as it is, but I plan to change things around and to be able to do a little bit more. But we're running behind time now, so let me introduce to you tonight. We're going to speak to a group of authors who are doing amazing things. I'm telling you, they are blowing this out of the water because their stories are it is so incredible, and it is so heart-wrenching. At the same time, it is so empowering. So first, I would like to bring someone you have not. I have two ladies on here, but I'd like to bring them. I'm going to bring both of them on at the same time, but I'm going to introduce to you first Miss Yolanda Carter, and you've seen her before on mental health. You've seen her before, and we also going to have Miss Sugar Thomas. I'm still struggling with your name. And we're also gonna have Miss Vera Gills. And I'm telling you, you'll just listen to the stories. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, pay attention, and whatever you can get from it is going to be life-changing. So here we have our first person, my beautiful and brave and courageous Yolanda Carter. Hi, my love.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. How about you?
Oh, I'm amazing as well. Thank you for asking. It's been a journey, I tell you that.
Yes.
But
Listen,
I'm
it is
good.
always a pleasure to see you. I'm going to tell you this, girl. Every time I look at your profile, all I see is those beautiful face, the blocking your eyes, and you make them out of all different kinds of, styles. I'm going to, oh my goodness. What is
Well,
it?
I'm hoping to be starting up my own eye patch line
Uh-huh.
in the future. So that is one of my things that I'm going to be working on soon.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
yes.
Right. Okay, good. So next we're gonna bring in Miss Sugar Thomas. Hello, Sugar Sugar. Listen, it's still bright outside in Chicago.
Yeah, it's about 8:30. I'm gonna have to move it in. So yep,
Oh
just
my
for a few more
goodness.
minutes.
Wow. Well, the few minutes is really good. Actually, it's really good. Listen, how are you, my darling friend?
I am great. I am great. I just want to say I'm proud of you, Yogi, for starting your eye patches. I'll
Thank
wear one
you.
just because Yogi made it.
And I'm gonna get to wear one too.
Okay, yes,
I'm gonna
that's the
support our
goal.
sister.
That's
It,
really the goal. I'm talking to someone about it. So we got to go through the challenge, the motion. So, you
well,
know.
let me know. I have your marketers and branders already ready, and if you can just have maybe a sample of one for the events, that would be great.
I don't think I will that soon. The lady, I'm still trying to get the meeting with her.
Okay.
It's for at the Urban Chicago Urban League.
Okay.
But
All
hold
right.
So
on.
Let me know. We will make up an event. Just
Listen,
yes.
even if just one of the one that you have new and you haven't worn before, tag it along. Bring it with
Okay.
you to that event. People are going to be asking you questions.
and don't
Okay.
forget
I
about
think
the scarves.
I might make one specifically for that day.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And don't
Yeah.
forget about the
Yes.
scarves.
Yes, we definitely got to do the
Yeah.
scarves
Game changer
for the
for
breast
cancer
cancer.
patients and all that.
Yes,
That is
Mhm,
awesome.
mhm.
cancer. Yes,
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, ladies.
yes.
So it is amazing to see you, ladies. It is always a pleasure. But today we're not here to talk about mental illness. The last time we talked about mental health, and it is always a 365-day topic. I don't think it never slips. But at the same time, we want to take a different direction today. We want to talk about that amazing accomplishment that you two ladies and a group of other ladies did, and to co-author a book.
Yes.
Okay. So, my audience, let me show you guys the book. Okay. And then we're going to ask some questions. Okay. So, listen, these ladies got together and they created one of the most amazing, and just when I started reading the book, I just, tears were like coming, but I'm going, yes, yes. So, let me show it to you. It's entitled, I'm going to open up the screen for them to see it bigger. Okay. It is entitled The Book of Ruth. There you go, guys. The Book of Ruth. Anthology: How
Mm-hmm.
to Create New Chapters in Your Life, a Les Brown inspired book by Vera Gilles Vernon. And let me show you this.
Vera Giles Norris.
Norris. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I don't have my. You have to excuse me. I'm not going to make any more mistakes.
The book was inspired by her mom. So her
Okay.
mom, who's no longer here,
Mm-hmm.
is all called Ruthie Marie Giles.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. 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 So tell us. I don't know. She's not here, right?
She
But
will
you
be
did.
on shortly. Yeah,
Yes.
she's on
So,
another call right now, but she will be on.
okay.
We've really been trying to get out there, really try to promote the book, kind of really promote each other. A lot of us have non-for-profit businesses. We have other stuff. So we're trying to connect it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the book, it's not a book, it's a movement. So considering Yolanda has a non-for-profit called Beautifully Scarred, I
Mm-hmm.
have a non-for-profit called Women of Wealth Empowerment Group Incorporated.
Mm.
My non-for-profit helps other women empower themselves to
Mm-hmm.
be whatever they choose to be. Uh, Yolanda's non-for-profit is called Beautifully Scarred. It helps other women with domestic situations actually get through. Her daughter,
Yes.
and she has some amazing women that she works with, assist her with her non-for-profit called
Mm-hmm.
Beautifully Scarred. Because
Yes,
after being a part of this project, you really realize you just don't understand how much domestic violence is an epidemic.
it is.
For somebody to decide what they're going to do with your life, that's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
nerve.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
it is,
yeah.
it is.
So, right now, and this book also helps you release a lot of anger,
Mm-hmm.
sadness, because one thing it is, all of us turned our pain into
To,
power, but we still have our good days and bad days. So, I know you
almost
said mental health
definitely.
is 365 days. This book is saying we still go through it, we just go through it in a different way.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what got to me when I read the book, because I've read about three stories so far. Okay. And it is just the ladies are speaking about their experiences, but in the same token is the way you're shifted from talking about all of those experiences to how you all started to overcome all of these challenges and what you are using these experiences for, and which is to empower other women. I find this was just amazing. It was just a smooth transition from I'm here, I was there, but I'm not gonna stay there. I'm gonna move past that and move up, rise above it. And I find that was really absolutely amazing.
Hmm. And just your story alone, how you lost a child, how you went through molestation, how you went through depression. And every time I see that beautiful face, all I see is a
Mm-hmm.
glow. All I see is purpose. I see God in you when you smile. So, once again, we also are speaking to a survivor of many things. So, thank you, Cindy, as
Absolutely.
well.
You're most welcome. It is my heart's desire to join the movement, to be in the movement together with you guys. I'm already in it, y'all. I'm not in Chicago, but I'm in the movement, okay? So I am just so thrilled that a group of women. It is so powerful when we women come together for a common cause. There's so many the lives that we can touch, the lives that we can transform with our experiences, with our knowledge of things, with whatever that has taken us from the depths of depression, the depths of the lowest points in our lives, and to bring us to where we are. So I find this is very powerful. This book is gonna be powerful. And like you said, Sugar, I'm gonna bite my tongue if I say your name. It is important that we share those stories, we keep them going, we keep them alive.
Absolutely.
Yes. So let me show the audience some of the beautiful ladies that were co-authored this book. Okay. Y'all didn't know I had these pictures, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So who do we have? Who do we have up here? Would you like to help me out there, please?
I can name a few of the ladies up
Mhm.
top with the red hat on. That is Ruthie Marie Giles.
That's the mom.
Yes, that's the mom. Next to that
Okay.
picture is her daughter, Vera Giles. The book
Mhm.
was inspired by her and Les Brown.
Mhm.
And he
Okay.
told her, yeah, I think this will be a good idea. And they start to talk and they actually created the concept. After that, the rest is history.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
The
Awesome.
third person is a chief. That is Chief Kamala. She's
Uh,
part of an Indian reservation.
okay.
Okay. So some of the people, like right now, one of the people that's my writer, you will see you go down to the bougie second line. It's Yogi. Yogi is gonna always be the glitter, the shine, and the bougie one.
Okay.
Wherever you go, that's Yogi. So if you don't see no bling bling, you didn't see Yogi.
That's right.
Just I really don't want to tell too much, but
No, no, let's do it.
I will say the lady at the bottom, she's 81 years old and she talks her story. And I think it was so powerful because of the fact that 80 something years old, whatever it is, you finally released it. You let it go. And that's something that normally this doesn't happen. We don't have platforms to let things go. When we hang up, we got to live with a lot of stuff. But for the most part, she chose to let it go. And I'm so proud of her. Like 80 something years old, before she leaves this earth, she allowed it to, she let it go.
And let me tell you, I could just imagine the sense of relief that she felt when she just literally left all of that burden from inside of her and just released it and let it go. It is
Yes.
so exhilarating. It is exhilarating.
Yes.
So tell us, I was waiting for this lady to come, Miss Vera, but I have oh, let me say hello to my guests. Oh, we have guests on. Okay. We have Fofu. Oh, hi, Mr. Thomas. His last name is Thomas too. How are you? And we have Kiana Tiki Constantine. Welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placide, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, I would like you to tell me, right? I would like you to tell a little about what inspired. I know I want to ask Miss Vera that question, but she's not here. But what inspired you? First of all, Shwana, what inspired you? I said it right. What inspired you to get onto that that movement in writing your story? And it says at the back, it's been a long time coming. And I'm reading that. What inspired you to write, allow yourself that space to write your story, get your story in that book?
When I realized my purpose. As I started to write, I realized I had a purpose. I realized me laying in the alley, playing dead, my job, how my job connected, how the fact that when I first started my job in 2003, I work at a jail in Chicago. You know, in Chicago, it's a little rough, so you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And 600 employees work at my job. But I used to ride home with one particular person. I don't even remember how we started riding home together. But he went home one day. He said, I have to stop home before I drop you off. Is that okay? I was like, I guess beggars can't be choosy. That's fine. So when he went home, I froze. It was the alley, which I was shot. And I started to cry. And he was like, what's wrong? I said, I was shot over here. He said, well, that's weird. Years ago, I returned a backpack and a purse back to a mother whose the girl and her daughter was shot in the alley. And I started crying and I said, I'm that girl. So my purpose comes. And every time I talk to somebody and every time I reread my story, it just shows you how everything have come together for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I do groups with the boys at the jail, at the detention facility. And one day this young man put his head down and I said, son, you don't have to be ashamed because you didn't shoot me. He said, I didn't, but my brother's friends did. They brought the gun and the clothes to our house and said that they had just murdered a mother and her daughter. So everything have come together for me. So my life is purpose. So to be able to release and assist somebody else with the things we go through, when you have PTSD, you forget a lot. And people get upset with you, and it's like the more you learn what you go through, the better you are and the people around you. Because sometimes the people around you also have PTSD from what you went through.
Wow, it is amazing that you talk about that PTSD because I thought I was the only one. When you have PTSD from these traumas, you
Yes.
forget a lot of things. You
Yes.
forget.
Yes.
And I have been going through this, and I keep telling. Sometimes I keep telling people, I forget, and it's, you're always forgetting, but I'm really forgetting things.
Yes. And you have to do small things to trick your mind. But if that's going to make me have triggers, if that's going to keep me depressed, I'm okay with forgetting. I would not allow anybody to allow me to remember the exact date nor how old my daughter was, because right now she's pregnant. She's here in town
Mm-hmm,
with me now, and she's
mm-hmm,
pregnant. And she, a lot of times I don't talk about it in front of her because
mm-hmm,
just think she has it as well. But
mm-hmm,
the other people around you, we really don't recognize theirs
mm-hmm.
because we're still mentally going through ours.
Yes,
But it
yes.
takes a village. So my part in the book, if I can help one person, if Yogi could come help one domestic violence survivor, one
Mm-hmm,
person, to be able to save their life, we did something. We did what we were supposed to. No matter how the pain that we may have to go back through to tell our stories, we're helping somebody else. And I think that we feel like that's our purpose.
yes. And I don't know if people do understand this, how difficult it is for us to come on here, come on any platform to relieve those stories. It's
Yes.
never easy.
No.
But for us to be able to help other people, to help them grow, to help them mature, to help them find a purpose like we have to talk about it. And we have to continue talking about it. And like you said, if one person, if any of our stories can just reach one person, save that one person, we have
That one
accomplished
person.
a great purpose.
Yes.
Great
Um,
purpose.
I did an interview last night, and the I have to take a moment. I did the interview last night, and she said, I read in the book that you were baptized for your
Mm-hmm.
grandmother. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
yes, of course. I was arrogant and I was younger. And I was like, well, before my grandmother died, she was diagnosed to pass away in 6 months. So I said, well, before she passes away, I would like to show her who I
Mm-hmm.
am. So I got baptized. My grandmother didn't pass away for 2 more years, but
Mm-hmm.
I was shot within those 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm writing, I start to write down, I hear a strange noise. I write down the fact that I felt something fall on top of me. As I finished writing, that strange noise, of course, was bullets, because he said to me, if you move, I will kill you. And I guess he tried to do what he said he was going to do. So as I write, I'm still healing, because
Yes.
I said to myself, wow, someone tried to take my life. But
And
God said, no, you have purpose.
I'm
So I
sure,
still
I'm
cry.
sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm sure within those moments of writing that book,
Yes,
putting those things on paper,
yes,
tears are falling. You're
yes,
finding every strength within you to be able to do that.
yes.
And when I talk about my molestation, when I talk about my rape as a young child, it's not easy. And I didn't go through somebody trying to take my life. And I'm sure there are so many places that you go that certain noises are going to startle you. They're going to make you feel like, okay, is that a bullet coming through? Or
Yes.
some, maybe even the tone of somebody's voice can be
Um,
traumatic for you.
the tone, no, because
Mm-hmm.
God had to make me stronger. Because
Mm-hmm.
just think, where I work, the boys do that every day. They kill and rob
Mm-hmm.
somebody every day. So I have to be stronger, because I
Mm-hmm.
can see the person that killed me through these kids every single day. I
Okay.
choose not to. I try to choose to see the good in them.
Mm-hmm.
So as I finished writing, and then as I got closer to the end of the story, I stated something fell on top of me.
Mm-hmm.
As I finished writing, and I stayed down to somebody had to come get me off the ground, because he continued to shoot. So I had to play dead. Somebody had to come get me. But when they came and got me up off the ground, I had nothing on my back. I had nothing on top of me. So I realized that was the blood of Jesus over me to say, no, it is not your time. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that God kept me here to do this, I am honored. I never say, oh Lord, why did I get shot? I say, how can I help somebody else prevent them from this happening to them? I never ever not take my role in life to say, Lord, if you got me here, I would do everything I can to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that that day in that alley does not go in vain ever.
Amen.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, Yolanda, see, I think she's a little under the weather, but she goes and talks constantly. And after we talk, sometimes we have to just talk to each other, because we're letting things out that we thought was bad. But now we're talking to the world, and we're doing books to say it's okay. We're willing to turn our pain into power to help someone else. That's a lot. You have to be a very strong individual to
Yes.
do this.
And sometimes when we hear the stories of other people, it also empowers us to know that we have to continue
Yes.
doing these things. I remember, I don't know, there's one of my the guests online, his name is Thomas, 4 Foot Thomas, and he was listening to one of my lives, and I did not realize how impactful that what I was doing to help people get all sorry, I'm biting my tongue, help people cope with their grief, helped him because he just lost his wife, young wife. So whatever we're doing, we are here for a purpose. And sugar, my sugar baby, okay, I am so proud of you because I could see the pain in you. I can hear that pain in you. And I wish I could just hold your hands and grab and hug you right now. But I'm coming. I'm coming. I hug you so that we could love on each other. Because, like you said, when you and Yolanda finish those talks and empower people, you have to empower each other. You will need to lean on each other, through all of these processes. We need to lean on each other. And I think that is amazing for us who are giving support to have a support system. It is important. It is important.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So let me see who's here with us. Natasha says real estate. Antoine is here. Hello, sweet love. How are you? Welcome to Porch and Perspective with Placide. We also have Dennis Charles. Good night, Dennis. How are you doing? Fofu said everything worked together for our own good, beautiful submissions. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, Yolanda,
Yes.
let's transition. Let's talk to Yolanda a bit. So I know we've heard your story, and I have the reason why I always want you guys to come up here. It's because continually we need to continually grow, and we need to
Hmm.
continually be. Our telling our stories not only enforces us, but it enforces others. That audience
Absolutely.
that must have heard it last year have not heard it today.
Right.
So we need to
Absolutely.
continue that pathway on to reach as
Hmm.
many people as we can. So I
I
am doing
agree.
my part right here to let those stories come to light. Everybody will get
Absolutely.
to hate. And so let me tell you, my sweetheart, Yolanda,
Yes.
I am going to tell you again when I heard your story. I
Hmm.
couldn't sleep that night.
Wow.
I could not sleep that night. I
Mm.
had visions of what you went through in my head. My heart pains me for years. When I heard her story, I'm going like, I could not imagine. When I heard Shawna's story, I could not imagine staring down at the barrel of a gun. And of course,
Hmm.
you heard the click, click, and you hear to tell us, I could not imagine. And I could not sleep for days. And both of y'all, the same day you're telling the story, where I'm going to die. I'm literally losing my mind. I'm gonna. You are so strong. You ladies are so strong. You have no idea how powerful you guys are. You are powerful. Your stories
Thank
are
you.
powerful, and you're
Thank
gonna
you.
impart so much wisdom and so much strength in others. Tell us about your story, Yolanda. Come on, baby. We want to hear. We want to.
Okay. Okay. Good
Now,
afternoon. Good
hold on a
evening,
second.
everyone.
Before you continue, I want to say this. I know
Hmm.
you've been talking a lot, and I always say that if there's any time that you feel that you cannot and you don't want to say something, it's
Hmm.
okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm here with you.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you may be at this time. Well, the reason why I knew it's important to share my story in the book is because not often many people get to share their experience about domestic violence. We all know that domestic violence is like taboo. It's like an elephant in the room that no one ever wants to talk about. We have to deal with the shame, the embarrassment, and the stigma that goes behind it. So, with that being said, we always shoved it up under the rug and act like it's not happening just to save face or the embarrassment from the family or whatever people may try to use against you. So, I knew that what happened to me, it was not for me, it was for someone else. It's so important for other women, other men, because domestic violence is not just a women's issue. It's it's a form of power and control, and anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. So that's why I know that I wanted to share my part of the story in the book of Ruth, because I know that someone out there has experienced domestic violence. They may have experienced something way tragic or worse than me, or maybe not as bad as mine. But still, domestic violence, it's all unique. Okay, I didn't realize that I was in a domestic violence relationship in my past relationships. It didn't dawn on me until after I had really gone through this phase in my life, because my first encounter of domestic violence, it was physical. And I was under the impression that when you're in domestic violence abuse, it's when someone physically abusing you and beating you. And it's like um, you being physically, somebody black eyes and bruises, basically. So because I wasn't getting the black eyes and bruises, it was more so of the power and control and the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse. One day it was a little physical, but I still made excuses for it because I didn't think that he really meant it. So I just said, oh, it was my lip was busted, so I felt like, oh, he really didn't mean this. It was just, I made excuses. And a lot of times we make excuses for bad behaviors because we don't want other people to see the worst in the person that we're with. Because 9 times out of 10, what we do, we stay with that person. So, of course, you don't want to make nobody have a bad taste in their mouth or looking at your person side eye. So you kind of like want to shove it up under the rug and don't rehash it or make it happen like, oh, okay, Yolanda, this person is a monster, but you try to make it sound all good. We try to dress it up, like we try to dress it up and make it look good all the time.
And
So,
without cutting you short, I think
mhm,
this is a very bad thing that
mhm,
we women or men, whoever is in domestic violence situations, do, because we could be saving by hiding this under the rug. We could be exposing someone else to
yes.
indirectly to domestic violence. Who knows? They may not have only us; they may have another person who they're doing the same thing to, and we're hiding it. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Because domestic violence does not start off physical in the beginning. It
Mhm.
starts off like fairy tale. Like I'm in a fairy tale relationship with someone that groomed me for me to trust them and make me feel good about myself with all
Mhm.
the gifts, shower you with gifts and give you all the great things that you want and make you believe that they are exactly who they are. But if a
Mhm.
person shows you who they are, you have to believe them. If
Oh,
they
yes.
are when they start belittling you, disrespecting you,
Mhm.
and then the first thing what they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again," and then that's just to just to blow it off, just so you can forget about it. You may forget about it in an instance, but at the end of the day, it's gonna resurface, and then it's gonna blow up. It's gonna get a little bit worser because you have the tension building, you have the no, first is it's the honeymoon phase, and that's when we all in love and we having a good time with them, and then that attention builds. You like, oh my God, what's going on? And then that's when the explosion starts comes,
Mhm.
and then that's when you like really like, I'm in fear for my life, because anytime that a person can show you any type of fear with just throwing things or punching holes in the walls or being aggressive, threatening you, and doing all them things that you would think like, man, how could we? You say you love me, and then all of a sudden we here. So we try to figure out, how do we get to this point? And
Mhm.
that's what my story. I was with the guy that I thought was very charming, very charismatic. He was very attentive. He tricked us. He tricked my whole family because everybody thought he was the a great person. So when it all played out, we didn't realize that he was really a monster, because you gotta pay attention to people that shuts down, that don't talk to you days at a time, that will blow up at the like anything. But because I was the type of person I am, I have compassion for people. So there was times when I would put the person out, and then I didn't think that when I put them out, it was going to be any repercussion or anything. He'll cry, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And that's the thing that we keep falling victim of, because when they I'm sorry's and those criers. You have to be very careful for those criers, because in their mind they just try to just get you to play into their hand, and then so you can forget about it, and then until it starts up again.
Yeah, they'll give you
So
a sob story.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. But being a survivor of domestic violence, it really taught me a lot, and I had to learn how to start to rebuild my life all over again. I
Mhm.
had to learn that it was never my fault. I used to think that maybe if I don't even know what I was thinking, because I didn't even know why it even happened or
Mhm.
what I could have done to make this happen. So I didn't want to, I was blaming myself for it for a while. And I was like, what did I do? What could I've done to prevent this situation? But I remember my pastor saying, no, don't put that on you. You didn't have anything.
Yeah.
That's that person.
And
That
it is
person
sad,
did that.
yeah. And it is sad that this is the first thing we're going to do. We got to blame ourselves. What did I do?
Hmm.
Am I a bad person? Did I do something wrong? Did I say something to upset that person? But it's not you. It's not the
Hmm.
person. It's a person. They have their own problems. Before let you continue, let me say hello to some our guests, our viewers. Sorry, we have D Prince in the house. So Prince, hello Prince. He said, "My beautiful people, Prince is in the
Hmm.
house." Three beautiful ladies in the house. Yes, Prince. Thank you so much. Of course, we're beautiful. Okay.
Cindy, right now I
I.
also have my edibles ladies from Heidi's Fly Treats. I
Uh-huh.
have
Oh.
my mortgage broker, Natasha. So right now the tribe is on the line. Right now we talked about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I have a personal masseuse that when I feel like it's too much going on, that I actually make an appointment with him. So that's one of the things that we do for self-care is to get massages, to do aromatherapy, to do acupuncture, to
Mm-hmm.
write it down, to meditate.
Listen, I gotta move to Chicago. Listen, you have
That
too many
is
good things
so
going on in
important.
Chicago. We also
But
have Amanda Sue Crocker who said this is very, very true. Okay, awesome. So go ahead,
this
sweetheart.
is
Sorry.
this is so important for
Mm-hmm.
self-care,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have gone through something as traumatic as I have gone through, and to lose something that you was born with, your left eye, and having an eyewitness and someone actually telling you what happened to you, what you not even knowing. You go to bed one way, and then when you wake up in a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother way, and you try to figure out, wow, what happened to me, and to lose so much. But I feel like I've gained so much more, because I've gained a support system. I gained knowing I Shawana, Vera, all everyone that has came up. I mean, it's been an amazing journey, because right now I could tell you I go through a lot of stress. Um, I don't want to say depression, because maybe that's the devil, but I feel overwhelmed. Like today, I felt like crying. I've been feeling like that for the last couple of days, and it's been hard, because first of all, the first of the month, to want to know my situation with the first of the month, trying to get things together. I don't go places because of my situation and everything, because I was a very outgoing person, always went everywhere. I had a car, and then for you to lose everything, but God still allowed me to have purpose through my pain. And, he's working on me, and I'm just grateful to be alive, to have share an experience, because sometimes we got to go through some experiences to know how to be able to come out of it on the other side. So I want anyone that have gone through domestic violence to know that you can still live your life through the storm. You still don't give up. It's not your fault. Everything you work hard to get where you want to be, because you have to find, first of all, you have to find your happy place. I had to find my happy place. I had to learn to be confident. I lost my left eye. I was very disfigured. I'm deformed. I had to have 13 reconstructive surgeries through the midst of the incident. But at the end of the day, there was times when I felt like I was like not I was not pretty enough. I was, then I started gaining a lot of weight through after COVID. COVID like really stressed me out so bad. I was like, I didn't know if I was coming or I was going. I was trying to find out what therapy places. I mean, it was hard to find a therapy around that time, a therapist. Very hard to find a therapist around that time. So, you know, with better help from CSSJ, which is Survivor Safety and Justice, which I'm grateful to be a part of that organization as well, because there are a lot of resources that we don't know about that we need to know about. And if I would have known a lot of those resources back then, and I'm sure Shwana as well, when we were both going through it, it would have been so much easier because we need to know about the trauma recovery that's centers and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
because we all need support. And not saying my incident was way better, I don't do that, because I'm like, all our situations are unique in its own way, and
Yes.
and they have the same characteristics. We were abused, and
No,
Mm-hmm.
we
don't
were.
downplay it though, Yogi. I mean, you went to bed and somebody tried to take your eye out with a
It was
hammer.
tragic.
So right now, you went to bed one way, you woke up another. It changed your income. You can no longer drive.
Right.
So a lot of stuff. Don't ever downplay. It changed everything. So
Yeah,
don't
it
ever
it, it,
downplay
re- it
it.
really changed my life, because I did go to bed. He beat me with the hammer, yeah, all in my head, on the right side of my head, and that's what broke up everything on the left side of my face. So that's why I had to lose my left eye. But I have a metal plate in my skull. I'm walking around with, had a face full of metal, gashes in the back of my head. Just learn how to live a normal lifestyle. This is my new normal. And there are times when I cry. There are times I just didn't want to ever, what you say, don't downplay it. I guess because I'm so humble, I don't want people to look at me like, oh, Debbie Downer, or
Yolanda, let me stop you for a minute.
You
yeah.
have the right to be
You
angry.
took it out of your mouth. You have the right to be angry. You have the
Mhm.
right to say it as it happened. You have that right. It was taken from you. What you
Yes.
knew, your rights as a woman was taken from you. Your livelihood was taken from you. So
Yes.
don't be afraid to say it. You see, I'm getting emotional because when I was raped at the age of 8, I held this thing in and I was raped by somebody close to me. I held this thing in until I was able to say, I'm not going to hold it in anymore. I'm not going to protect anybody who hurts me like this. Don't protect them. Speak it. Let your voice be heard. Speak it out loud. You have the right to say what happened to you, and don't
Yes.
let anybody make you feel any less. No,
Because
no.
remember, normally before we start, I always say, I am powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am. You are Yogi. And I know right now, normally you speak about this a lot. And I tell you all the time, it's okay not to be okay today.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's okay to sit and know, like, wow, okay, you can't go outside. Somebody got to come pick you up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Last
And
week
then
I was
dealing
in.
with my birthday, but the birthday thing, my birthday just passed a couple of days ago. Monday was August 1st, my birthday. But I celebrate my rebirth. That's more significant to me. March 22nd, that's when my incident happened. 2016, my life had changed. So I really don't try to go all out to do anything major on my birthday that God blessed me with, but God gave me a second birthday. He gave me a second chance at life. So I definitely have to celebrate that. And I thank you. Shout out to Shwana, because she made my life so much easier that day. And because when I just want to give up, Shwana don't let me give up.
We
She don't.
can't.
We
She
can't.
don't let me give up.
We
We
can't. We have
can't.
purpose. Our purpose don't have me crying with you, Yogi, but don't have me crying
I'm
with
gonna
you,
spoil my
Yogi.
makeup. Now I don't want to spoil my makeup.
But God kept you here with somebody that felt like you shouldn't be. He actually was such a coward. He did it while you were sleeping. But
Yeah.
guess what? God said no, and God allowed you to wake up. So
Yes.
That
things
is
was
a
taken.
And
blessing.
then to make and then to tell you that God allowed me, He shielded me. I don't even know what the hammer even felt like. I couldn't even tell you what a hammer even feels like. God allowed me to go through it and not feel a thing. It was just the devastation that was behind it. But God, I'm here. And I thank God for everything that He's doing in my life. It gets a little weary and it gets a little challenging. But at the end of the day, because like you say, PTSD, there's days if I don't write stuff in my journal, I forget everything. I won't know nothing. Like, what is today? Or what do I have to do? If I don't remember, if I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. So, it's nothing intentionally or personal with anybody. If somebody say, Yolanda, you supposed to did this. If I didn't write it down, I don't know about it. But I'm not, that's just the way it is with me. But I'm
And
trying
don't
to do.
apologize. Don't apologize for it.
We gonna be okay. And I always say this from the first time I saw you, the first time I saw Yogi, it was on the news here in Chicago. And I said, she don't even know, but she gonna be my friend. I say,
I
how
think it was Windy
powerful.
City. I think it was Windy City Live
It was
on
Channel
the
7. They was
channel.
spotlighting you. And I
Yes,
felt like, wow, this
yes,
beautiful woman is so strong and courageous to
Yes.
get on camera with your pretty bling bling flower and say,
Hey.
I'm still here. And I have
yes,
a voice and I have something to do to save somebody else. Thank you,
yes.
Amanda. Amanda is on this line just talking. She said she was
Yeah.
beat for 9 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
So right now, and I always tell you, Yogi, and me and you go back and forth saying, who's stronger? No, you stronger, you stronger. That you're stronger to say you did it and you're here. And I know after every show I call you and I talk to you because I know this is hard.
Yes,
And
yes.
one thing I say, in which I never tell anybody, when I got shot twice. He shot me in my arm and he shot me in my thigh. The thing is that, and I always do this. The doctor said I would never use this arm again. He said I
Mhm.
would. The doctor said I wouldn't use it, but I had a praying mother.
Amen.
They said, "Oh yeah, we gonna use it. We going somewhere else." And if they don't say no, we going somewhere else. So I'm able to use this arm. I'm able to put my hands together and say, "Thank you, Jesus, that we're here. That we
Thank
able to
you,
have a
Jesus.
testimony to help others." So right now,
Amen.
I love you. I love you.
I
And I
love
do
you
say
too, Shwana.
always, you are stronger than me. You are stronger
Mm.
than me. But all of
Yes.
us here turned our pain into power.
Power.
I
We, we,
know.
Mm.
we got molestation on the line. We got gun violence and we got domestic violence. But guess what we got? We are survivors. We are
Yes.
that of redemption. I put my
Yes.
redemption shirt on.
Yes.
I forgot to put mine on. I was trying to hurry up and put something on because I was just relaxing
But
the day I was cleaning up. And
I
I
don't have no
sure
shirt. I was just trying to look cute.
could have just grabbed it because it's right in the drawer. I could have grabbed it out, but I
Listen,
mean,
I know Amanda's story. I know Amanda's story. And it's people like her. It's people. So many people I have seen go through so many things. When I got off of that bed with that hydrocodone, that 800 millimeter, the full bottle vial of hydrocodone in my hand, and I put it in my mouth for my little boy, he burst out laughing. I knew I had bigger purpose than myself.
Can you imagine how deep that is? Your son is autistic and you tried to take your own life. And as you tried to take your own life, he made a sound to make you look at him to say, Mom, not
mhm.
today.
Praise God.
Not today, Cindy. You will not leave this earth.
Whew. I said I wasn't going to cry tonight.
Yeah, right. Well, get over it, sister. I think it's a little too late for that.
I'm trying not to mess my makeup.
Yeah, that's Amanda Sue alone gonna have me tearing up.
I know Amanda's story. I'm trying to look for something to work. Okay, I don't have nothing, but I'm going to take it out. Listen, today I thought about this and I'm going like, wow, Cindy, you have met some amazing women in your life. I just sat back and started to think about the two of y'all. I started to think about, I didn't know you were coming, Yogi. So it was so amazing to see you again. But I didn't know, you were going to be here. But just the fact that I know that I'm going to be able to see you guys for the first time and just to think about the camaraderie that we fostered just this year, last year, we got to know each other. Whew.
And I do want to see you in person to give you that hug. When you told your story of how brave you was from getting raped to 8 to losing your daughter
Yes.
to this. I mean, come on, Cindy. So thank you. God placed me in your life.
Yes,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
you for
Because
everything that you do.
there's so many people that don't share their stories.
No,
They don't get a chance to, and it's
they're not
amazing
even
to
here to.
absolutely.
And we are here. And thank you, Amanda, because one thing it is when you do share your story, you got people with all these questions judging you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you gotta have a thick skin because people gonna say, well, why you stay? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you know he hit you. Why you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's true.
So yeah. So right now this is a crying session. But
Yeah.
when you finish crying, once again, we turned our pain into purpose.
Yeah. I have
And
a cousin. I have a cousin of mine, and she's listening. I won't say her name. She's listening,
hey
and
cousin,
and she went through the same sexual assault like I did. We had one family member who was
from the same family, it's the
yes,
same person.
yes.
Jesus.
Can I ask you where he is now?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
That's one person I never want to see in my life again.
Right. I just thought, maybe he was where he was supposed to be.
No. Mm, mm-mm. I hardly ever talk about him, but I talk about my experience. I refuse to keep quiet. I don't care which family member hates me. I don't care which family member thinks that I'm not supposed to be saying this. I don't.
That's too
I've got to the
bad.
point where I just don't care. I'm not going to be protecting you at the cost of me
Yeah.
shrinking back into depression, shrinking back into wanting to be suicidal. I am not going to protect nobody who has
Amen.
that way. No,
You're
I
doing
refuse.
right. You're doing right. Because what happened was for you, what happened to you, that's your truth. And can nobody tell you that you shouldn't tell your truth because if it happened to them, some people they shove everything, but it comes out and it's just sitting dormant, but later on it's gonna start affecting you because you never shared it. And that's why I know that it's so important to get it out because it sits anything that sits still it festers and then you start being angry, you start feeling some type of way, it's just all kind of things start happening, your health start deteriorating, everything has it happens because of the trauma that we have experienced in our lives
I
that we need
remember.
to release.
Yeah, I remember when I went to therapy for the first time. I went to therapy for the first time up here. That was years after all of these abuses, and I was speaking to my therapist, and I'm supposed to be the one who's crying, but she sat there and listened to my story, and she was
Mhm.
literally in tears, and she's asking me, "How have you been able to keep your sanity through all of this?"
Mhm.
And there are things I have not told people. There are things that
Mhm.
has happened to me, and it's going to come out at the right time. I'm waiting for the
Mhm.
right platform to be able to say the right moment, and it's coming.
Yes.
But she sat there, she told me, what I don't understand how you've been through so much and you still have your sanity intact.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that was
Truly a
a moment of
blessing.
truth for me.
It's the purpose God placed on your life. Amanda say we were chosen.
Mhm.
So that's why you're able to smile and tell your story because we'll never be the same again.
No.
But we
But
may be, we can be better.
yeah, we're gonna
Amen.
rise above it.
Rise above.
Let me tell you, I tell people don't understand why I name my brand Rise to Prosperity. It has nothing to do with money for me.
Mhm.
I want to make money, I need money now. But it has nothing to do with money for me.
Right. Mhm.
Rise above those trials, rise
It's
above those pains, rise above the all the trauma, the PTSD and everything. No matter, I have had so many bad days. Yogi, I should have called you. I last week I was like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to listen, put my head underneath the cover and just stay right there.
yes, I get it. Trust and believe. I go through it a lot, but I still try to hold it together as much as I can. And I think that what I do a lot of is I hold it in, I hold back. And I shouldn't hold back, but I do. I hold too much back. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like as much as I do, I don't get the same in return,
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of me not wanting to reach out to people because I'm just the fear of them saying, "Oh no, I can't," or whatever. So I just won't do it. Even if people, you know how people will say, "Oh, I'll be there for you. I'll help you, or anything you need, just reach out." But then it seemed like, I've always had, I was always, what I want to say, self
Self-sufficient.
sufficient. I was
Mm-hmm.
always self sufficient. I had two jobs, so I didn't never need or ask for anything from nobody because I didn't need anything. And then I had the significant other that had me on joint account, buy me brand new cars off the car lot, paid the car note, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't need no help from nobody. I've always wanted to help people. People needed things. I was always a giver and not just a taker. So,
Mm-hmm.
we have those type of people. We have givers and we have takers. So I've always been self-sufficient. My children never wanted for nothing. We had a nice place to live. My parents, I never watched abuse growing up. So I didn't even know. It was very
No,
foreign to
what it
me.
looked like. Yes,
Right.
yes.
I
You didn't
never
know
knew
what it
what it
looked like.
looked like because I was in a healthy life, healthy home. My dad was a good provider. My mom didn't have to work. He put us in private schools, so we lived life really good life. We had grocery business, so I didn't know what it was to be, domestic violence situation until my first encounter of it with my children's father. And I thought that
So
was crazy.
yeah, so it's coming from that place of having so much and having all that you needed, and to a
Hmm.
place where you have to literally have to ask somebody. I know that can be difficult, but let me tell you one thing. My young son, my eldest son, okay, he told me, I was just like, when I don't want to ask nobody nothing. He said, "Mom,
Hmm.
you can't just say that stuff." He said, "The worst they can tell you is no.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
worst they can tell you is no. They're not gonna beat you on the side of the head. The worst they can tell you is no.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. It's okay to say no. I just move on to the
Yeah.
next one because listen, I have this thing about me. I have never had it like everybody else had. I've always been struggling. But
Mm-hmm.
I have always said to myself, I will put my pride down for my children to eat. You can talk about me tomorrow, but I am going to eat today. And that's the way that you can say whatever you want. This girl come and ask me, but my children ate, and I'm okay. And even if I don't eat, but they're gonna eat. My bills are paid, and I'm fine. So you can talk about me because when my time comes for me for God to open my arms to bless somebody, I'm gonna be able to.
Hmm.
And He got to use other people to bless the people who help you. So don't ever think that Don't ever stay there, sweetheart, and just. I know because of your situation, because of the way you were brought up, but don't stay without just for the fact that you don't want people to see you, are afraid of what people are going to see.
Yeah, that's
If you
my
remember
problem.
anything, say, I'm gonna eat. They can talk about what they want later.
I hope you're listening.
Y'all,
I
y'all
hope
talk about me later, but I gotta eat.
you're going to
Okay.
eat today. Well, Cindy, can we talk about some of the things to help heal?
Yes, ma'am. I was just
More
about
like
to
self
say, yeah.
care. If
Mm-hmm.
you think somebody is in a domestic situation,
Mm-hmm.
to call the domestic hotline number. I don't know if
Yes.
anybody has it right now. Also, that
It,
sometime you can call. I think Yogi spoke about this last time.
Mm-hmm.
That you can actually talk to someone while they order a pizza. So if they
yes.
say, if they're in the midst of getting beat, they may call the police and say, "Hey, I would like to order a sausage pizza." And they're going to say,
Hmm.
"This is the police." And you go, "I know, please come to the house, have it delivered. Are you
Mm-hmm.
in trouble?"
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, we would like pepperonis on the pizza." So it's ways actually that you can do to actually save your life. Yogi, I know, also stated with a vet and other domestic violence advocates that to get
Hmm.
you maybe go get you a bank account, possibly put it in somebody else's name, somebody
Mm-hmm.
you trust. Go get you.
Or you get a separate set of keys. You hide them somewhere where you know that you can go back to, because all that stuff is being taken away from you. Your money, no way to get around or do anything. So you have to be able to be very strategic. You have to be very,
Hold,
you
hold,
have to.
hold that thought.
Okay.
I need the viewers to really pay attention to what is being said right now. It is vitally important because you can literally save somebody's life. So go on, Yogi.
Yes, you have to be very strategic. You never tell your partner or your abuser that you're going to leave. That's the first thing, because leaving is very difficult. It's very dangerous when you're trying to leave. That's the first thing. Never tell your abuser that you're going to leave them. That's number one. Secondly, you have to find a professional or someone that you can trust when you're trying to navigate into your escape plan, trying to leave. You make sure you have extra clothing, take them to someone's house or somewhere that you can trust, that um, you can put those things in place. Get an extra set of keys, hide those, put things in place where like, okay, well, I'm getting ready to go on the trip. And if I'm going on this trip, what I'm going to need. So it's just like when you do an escape plan the same way. You have to be very strategic, and because we know these people are very crafty, and they go and look for you at your friends' places, your parents' places, and that's why. So you got to be very careful with letting people know what all of your locations are.
Mm-hmm.
We be, oh, baby, come over to my girlfriend's house. I'll meet you over here. You have to be very careful because you don't know these people. Sometimes you don't know a person, and we trying to get to know a person. Sometimes people don't give out all their information all at once.
Right. Everybody
So
don't
you,
need to know everything about you.
yes, you got to
Always
be
have one
very.
friend you don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have to be very careful, because people are, we walk around with, it don't have over your forehead that I'm an abuser, or I'm a murderer, I'm a killer, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So you have to know that the right things to do when it comes down to being in a abusive relationship, because a lot of times I think that because of um, we want we don't want people to see the worst. We want people to always think that our relationships are so good, because everybody wants to have that power couple. I want to be that power couple. I want to be that couple that everybody look up to. Be like, oh, I want to be like them. But you cannot always be like that type of person, because everybody don't gel together. Everybody don't have that communication. Because one thing I know, first of all, we have to learn to know that love does not hurt, first of all. So, do you know if you love a person or you lusting for a person? Because first, one thing is loving me, but do you respect me? You can tell anybody that you love me. So if
Mm-hmm.
you don't respect me, you can't possibly love me.
True.
So we have to be able to know the difference.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we have to be women, men, women, first of all, you have to be able to protect your peace. You are responsible for how you allow people to mishandle you. And in the beginning, you should not allow certain things to happen, because when it happened in the beginning, that's it's going to continue to happen. So if you don't allow it to happen in the beginning, it will never happen. If you see an onset of any type of disrespect, any kind of throwing, or any kind of things that will make you feel like you're afraid, you have to walk on eggshells, you have to be, your time have to be clocked. That is a red flag.
So give me an
Mm-hmm.
example of something that if I would need to watch out for, that you're trying to tell me, like that I'm being groomed. Can you give me an example of
Okay, well,
something?
when you being groomed, first of all, you come into this relationship with your partner or your significant other. Then they start giving you, showering you with all these gifts, and then he started telling you all kind of things. Baby, I love you. Would you, he wants you to trust him first of all by just giving you things. Wait a minute, I'm trying to put it in perspective so you understand what I'm trying to say. When someone is grooming you, they're making you feel like everything, they want to do everything perfect in the beginning so you can trust them, as far as baby, giving you access to a lot of things that they do on their whereabouts in the beginning, or their family, or who you around, because a lot of times they don't even want you around people because they feel like they want to they want to take control over you. And once they start taking control over you, that's when they try to isolate you from your friends, family, and loved ones, meaning taking you away from those people that can put any sense in your head, or making you feel like you have a friend. Oh no, you don't need to be around these people because that person is not good for you, or they like me, they are age, or they doing wrong or whatever. They always see the bad in the person. But when they grooming you, they just making you feel comfortable,
Now,
basically.
now, I did have a question for you. Now, I remember the last time we were talking about mental health and domestic violence. You stated that you were dating a guy, and you want to stay at the party a little longer, and he wanted to leave, and he
Yes.
threw a drink in your face.
Yes. Okay. So that's what he did. That's the same guy. Okay. So we were at a party, and I met, and not met, but I had seen an old friend that we just hugged, embraced, or whatever. And in his mind, I didn't even know that he was paying attention like that because I introduced him to him. But in his mind, oh, you dated him, you hugging this man in front of me or whatever. He stopped talking to me all that night. And I was like, I shoved it off like, oh, it's nothing. It's all good. But he stopped talking to me for the rest of the evening. So I was like, there's something wrong with this person. Plus, I was driving. So I was still in the point of getting to know this guy. I was getting, that was our early stages of getting to know him. Never thought that everything was leading up, because God was showing me all the times when he did a crazy thing. He threw my phone down the alley. He threw alcohol on me. He just did all kind of stuff, called me the B word. And then it wasn't just the, oh, you B. It was like it rolled off the tongue, like it hurt my heart. He did like crazy things. He was very manipulative, very verbally abusive, and but I still made those excuses for bad behaviors because I was like, oh, okay, he just wants some attention. And, I thought I can, you can never change nobody. But you just try to stick it in there. And then for the root of all evil, money is the root of all evil. He put me on this joint account. He made sure that if I'm hungry, he gonna cook dinner for me. I was on my, I was working. He'd be like, "Come on for break. I'm gonna cook you your lunch or whatever." He makes your dinner. So he did all these great things to pull me in, and that's what I'm saying. That's how they get you. That's grooming me. He groomed me to trust him so that I can feel like, oh, dang, this man is amazing. He's like this, but never seen the dark side of a person, because everybody, some men, some people have a dark side, but you never really see it because it don't come out in the beginning. Because first of all, he didn't want to suffer to lose me, so of course he's not going to show all of his behaviors at one time. One time he told me, "Oh, if I was anything like I used to be, I would crush your dome." And I was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. Oh, whatever.
And
I call
all
the
of these
police."
were little signs that you were not seeing.
Those were the signs. But I was like, because I thought I was like, he loving me. He showed me all these great things, and made me feel like I was a little statue with on the pedestal, that I was so fragile. He didn't, I didn't feel like this man couldn't hurt me. I'm like, people was like, Yogi, be careful, Yolanda. The Holy Spirit told me this man gonna do something to you. I'm like, this man ain't gonna do nothing to me. He loves me.
You
So we
know,
have to be
they
careful.
will they will use this manipulation.
Yes,
They
he's
will
very
manipulate
manipulative.
you.
He
I'm trying to find
manipulated
out.
me really good.
They will. Hmm.
I was
Amanda
very, I
said
was
they
very
will tell you stuff
Now,
like I should
now,
say.
Now I
Yes.
had a question though. Now this
Yes.
was because I also have a platform that we discuss this type of stuff.
Mhm.
Yogi, do you feel like since you went through that, do you feel like you attract other men with similar qualities?
No. Well, now I'm more aware. I'm like I got my horns up like a deer,
Like what do
and
you do? What do you do different?
oh, communicate. No arguing. We talk. We be on the same page. If it's something that I don't like, I will address it right then and there. And I know that I did make a mistake recently with my significant other, and I cussed at him. And see the thing about, and I'm making no excuses, but when you have been abused and someone seems like they antagonizing you or they just trying to get egging you or whatever, you will lash out and it may not be the right thing to do. I could have handled it in a little different way, but at the end of the day, I felt that just shut the up talking to me, and I just felt bad after I did it because this person is not confrontational. He's not he don't like to argue or none of that stuff. But it's still some things that they can do to push those buttons to make you to put you in a position where you have to feel like you fight for your life. But I think that I can actually say that I am in a healthy relationship now. um, it's more of laughing. It's no disrespect. It's more of a respect level. It's not just a love because you have to learn to have respect for that person before you can actually tell them that you love them. I was
Do you
holding. I
trust
was
him?
guarded.
Do you
Huh?
trust him?
I do
Because
trust them. I trust them. I'm guarded though. I'm very guarded.
okay.
I told him that I didn't feel connected because I was so like because he's so much of a jokester all the time that I didn't know if he's real or if he's playing. But then it something happened within these few months that it really came to be something really like, okay, this is what I've been needing all the time. And he's giving me exactly what I'm looking for now that I didn't see in the beginning because I was so guarded. I was holding, I didn't want to get a chance to put myself out there to be disappointed, to be hurt again. So a lot of times we can do that. We can sabotage our own relationships by just because of being abused. And you thinking that, oh no, I'm not getting ready to go all in because the fear of being hurt again.
I
And that's
could
what it was. So
I
it's more so of a communication. We have a very good communication, line of communication.
I could see where
You can
Sugar,
say Suge.
Sugar's line of questioning comes in because I've had to face that myself, and I've heard a lot of people say because sometimes because of their past relationships, some of them were abused and whatnot. Sometimes they
Mm.
tend to I would
Attract
say
the same type of man.
attract the same type
And
of
Sometimes you
man.
don't even know that you're attracting the same type
Yes,
of
yes.
individual.
that's exactly why I want to say this also, because I did not realize that the relationships that I've been in, those were long-term relationships, but they were all characterized the same way. They were all abusive, but they wasn't physically abusive, but there was mentally, emotionally, verbally abusive. I was, I didn't realize it because I didn't know what the cycle of abuse really was. Like I said, I thought domestic violence was just black eyes and bruises. I didn't know that it was a form of power and control. And after being educated and knowing the cycle of abuse, then I realized I was like, oh my God, all of the relationships that I've been in, they were all abusive relationships. I have all of my relationships were some type of abuse and didn't really identify with it. Sometimes we don't identify what it really looks like until you be educated about it. And so now I could say I don't see any of these things, these characteristics that I was in my prior relationships that I am in now. Now it's more of just whatever you want. It's loving. When we see each other, it's like embracing. It's just like you met for the first time every time we see each other.
Now,
So that's what
I guess got one other question because I know whenever I talk about domestic, people always say, "Well, they should have knew better. They should have this." So I'm just
mm-hmm,
asking you straight out with some of the
mm-hmm,
questions. Now, this
right,
is a very difficult question. What
okay,
made him decide at this point? Because he was doing small stuff. What
mm-hmm.
made him decide? What happened to push him over the edge to say to you like, okay, you know something? I'm about to do something really bad to her. What happened that led up to this?
Well,
You would
what
not
led
know.
up to it?
You say she wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
I say you wouldn't know.
She might know though. That's because when she
I, you
said
know
she
what?
couldn't.
I actually, I really don't know, but all I know is that he had left the weekend,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it was something mind altering or some type of something altering drug or whatever. Told him to kill me. So all I know is that I think I'm thinking that maybe it was there was a few clothes that was packed in the back towards because I was in a apartment and my apartment was open concept. So it was like the front door, then the bedrooms, and then you come towards the back and where the living room and the kitchen, all that combined together.
Yes.
So I guess I had a bag of clothes. I didn't tell him that he had to leave. So in his mind, I guess he's like, she's about to put me out. I don't know. He didn't say anything. All I know is that I went to bed at 12 o'clock a.m. and I'm fighting for my life at 5 something in the morning. I didn't wake up the same way I went to sleep. I had no knowledge of him wanting to try to take my life or what devil or demon talked to him in his mind to go get that hammer, to go beat me my brains and leave my brains in the bed with me. I don't know. I really wish I knew why he did this.
You
Um, I don't know.
Where is he, Yogi?
He's in prison. He's in prison. They gave him on a plea deal of 12 years. 12-year plea deal.
I will tell you this. The reason why I say that I don't think she would know, is because I was friendly to this guy. I'm not gonna name
Mm-hmm.
names. I was friendly to this guy, and I had no clue at the time that just by telling him, if you do this to me, I'm going to call the police on you.
Mm-hmm. So I have no idea why. I wish I knew. I wish I could. I knew, and I could
Not
tell why, but I did. I really,
not
honestly.
knowing that after I said that, I would have gotten kicks, and I've been a product of domestic violence myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would have gotten kicks in my stomach, and I would have gotten a punch and knocked me cold out.
Wow.
Amanda
So
said that the reason he did it because it's no rhyme or reason. He's just a narcissist.
Yeah.
yeah, and you know what? I didn't know about narcissistic behaviors, but he was a narcissist after I learned what a narcissist is. So that was one of his behaviors. He was, I mean, very intelligent man, very smart. He was very hardworking, but he wanted to control me, but he couldn't. And that's the thing. I think that he wanted to control my life, and I wouldn't allow him to do it because I told him one thing. I told him that you will never ever tell me what to do. You can ask me, but you will never tell me what to do. And I think
It's
that
a
he didn't
matter
like that.
it's a matter of control for them, and if they cannot control you, they will try to
Hmm.
take you out.
Yeah.
And you know me. Let me tell you this. Huh? When that man knocked me out, after he had beaten me and kicked me in my stomach and everything, and I said, "Don't hit me." But he the next time he did, he knocked me cold out.
Mm-mm-mm. That's sad.
When I got up, I gave him a warning. I said, "If you hit me again, you are not my mother, you are not my father. If you hit
Hmm.
me again, I will hit you back."
Hmm.
And I know we never have to return evil for evil, but I was not going to say that no, be nobody's punching bag.
It's
Now,
not
Right.
evil for evil. It's called self-defense. So
yeah.
do what you
And
have.
so when he tried it again, he got knocked out too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, but you had to get it. So I became bad now because I knocked him out. But you hit me first. You know, like you said, it's self-defense. We have to put up for, I see a lot of women walking around with a lot of things to protect themselves. We have to protect ourselves. But it is sad though, that's how coward this man was. And I'm
Mhm.
getting all how coward he was to wait until he was sleeping.
Sleep.
Yeah. I was
Can I
asleep.
can I make something just plain for Amanda? Amanda, I wasn't when I asked Yogi the question, I wasn't blaming her. I just was like, do you think you know why he felt like he had to do something? Because
Mm,
whenever she told her story, because we've been on the show several times,
mm,
she'll say, well, he did this because I want to stay at the party. He did this because I want to go out with my friends. So I was just asking her, like, why do you feel like to this extreme could he have do something like this to you? I know it's never a reason to put your hands on anyone, but I
mm,
just thought, did she think like, well, what do you think his mindset was?
mm.
So
Mm.
He didn't want to lose that control that he had over her.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just by seeing the bags there, he must have said, oh, so you're planning to leave me? We're going to see who's going to leave who.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
That man's
yeah.
intention that night was to kill you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no ifs, no buts about it. His intention was to end your life.
Well, I also know that what I was told after he did it, he was in a state of shock. He couldn't believe what he did. It was something that um, he 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 had to be told to leave because he was standing there in a state of shock, like he didn't believe he did it.
I'm going to tell you
So,
that this thing shocked my foot. Okay?
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm going to be so blunt. Shock my foot. He knew what he
mm,
wanted to do.
yeah,
Now, now that he did it, he's thinking of not, well, I did this, but the consequences of what is going to be after he did what he did. Now I've done
yeah,
this. I'm seeing all of this. Now that what is going to happen to me? Yep.
hmm,
That's what he was thinking. What is going to happen to me?
yeah. And he's 11 years older than I am. He's not a young guy at all. He's in his 70s now. I mean, 60s. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's in his 60s. Yes,
Oh,
60s.
God help us all. I'm telling
So
you,
he,
I'm
so
just
he's much
thinking the
older
worst
than I
things
am.
in my mind right now. I'm sugar. I'm going like,
So he was an older, he was an older man. He wasn't a young man that did this to me. He was an
So
older
he was an
man.
old narcissist, is what she said. Old narcissist. He wasn't a young one. He was an
a
old one.
shaky bone narcissist. So let me say hello to some people who just came in. Emma Leo is watching. Hi, cuz. That's my beautiful cuz. How you doing? Trevor Felicia is watching. Hi, Trevor. Trevor is watching all the way from St. Lucia, and Emma is watching from New York
Can,
City.
can I ask in your from the islands, why do you guys say good night? Like I see you say good night in the morning. Why? I always
They
want.
say time zone is different.
Huh?
Oh, is it because of the time zone? Why do you always say good night?
When is good night? When it's in the nighttime, we say good night. That means good night. We go to sleep. We say good night.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought
It's
it
a
meant
form
something else.
of like that we acknowledge the time of the it is good night.
Oh,
In the morning we say good morning. In the afternoon we say good afternoon. Or in patois we say bonsoir. That's good night. In the
this what?
morning we say how do you say good? Oh my gosh.
Bourgeois.
Oh my goodness, you need to go home, Cindy. You forgot how to say good morning.
And in the afternoon say bon après-midi. I say good morning again. My mind just went blank on that one. I'm sorry, St. Lucia people. I love you, Albert. But I know that's why we say because we acknowledge the time of day that it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Some
I know already. We normally be on this all night. I know it's about time to wrap it up. It's nine
yes,
thirty.
yes,
I see
yes.
people saying good night, good night. So
Yeah. We
we'll
say they
see.
say good night because they could just coming in, so they are greeting you. Good night.
Oh, okay. It's a
Yeah.
greeting.
Yes, it's a greeting.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
he's
okay.
coming
Okay.
in, he's just saying good night. That means I'm here. Good night.
Okay.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. That's
So
awesome.
Trevor, am
really,
I right, Trevor?
did Trevor
Let
say
me see.
yes?
Yeah, let me see who's here. We also have Sonia Holder is here. I'm asking him, am I right here? But I, uh,
Bonjour.
Yes, Trevor
As they
said
say,
bonjour, bonjour, like yes, bonjour. Yeah, bonjour, that bonjour, hello, bonjour in the morning, bonjour, yeah. In the morning, that's what I say. Yeah, bonjour in the morning, yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting my patois.
no. When you come to Chicago, please have all your words together.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to call my cousin. Cause I'm gonna call you and ask you, cause how they saying this? But listen, guys, it was such, as usual. It was such an amazing discussion, and a lot of people don't realize it. It's not only like Yolanda said. It is not only women who face domestic violence. It is not only women who face abuses, even sexual assault. Men do
Yeah,
as well, but
absolutely.
the majority
Is
is
women.
women. Is
Hmm.
women, and that's why we are here. We are not just addressing just women. We are addressing men as well,
That's
because there
right.
are a lot of men, just for the sake of not being called a coward or being called soft, they will not let anybody know
There
that
was,
their wife is abusing them.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why they were taught to not cry or show any emotion. But, we have to always let them know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotions because that's the way we were taught. So how can you be good for me and you show no emotions and you can't be able to have any empathy for me when I'm in need of, your support?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's hard for some men to be like, oh, I'm not gonna cry. I ain't gonna show no emotion. I'm a man. Yeah, you can be a man, but you can still have some empathy for people.
Yes, yes. So listen, guys, I'm going to let you. For my viewers, I want to say thank you so much. Sandy Ogis is watching. Good night. If you do, we have our beautiful Yolanda Carter and our beautiful Sugar Thomas. That's
Good.
my sugar. Listen,
Sugar.
I'm right here. Listen, now the three of us, we have such a good camaraderie, but we've never met personally. Okay, we've met online, but I'm about to meet those ladies. Okay, so if you have not, and you really want to have some more amazing stories, we could not give you all the sauce, all the juice. Okay,
Right.
please go on Amazon. Let me see. Get a copy of their book. I am going. Noah, please keep
It's
quiet.
also on Kindle, and we hit Amazon bestseller. So
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yes.
Go
yes,
on there, get a copy of the book of Ruth. Okay. This is the book of Ruth, and these are some of the amazing ladies that it's there. How many ladies there are there in this book? 1, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16?
yes.
16 stories of courage, of survival, of rising above the trials, of empowerment, and of course, of creating a new chapter in your life from whatever trauma you have been through, whether it be grief, whether it be domestic violence, mental health, mental illness, suicide, whatever it is. These women have come together to put this book together to help people like you, people like me who are facing those trials and tribulations. So please get a copy. I have the oh my gosh, am I saying I have the link online. I also put it on the chat so you can get a copy. The name is the book of Ruth Anthology, how to create new chapters in your life. Okay, so please, I would like to say thank you to my beautiful ladies, Sugar Thomas and Yolanda Carter. Miss Farah could not have been here today, but y'all are gonna be seeing more of us and you're gonna be hearing more of us. And wherever they are, I'm going to find them. Okay.
One thing, Cindy, I noticed that people were saying something about
Hello,
victims.
Shwana.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cindy?
Yes, I can hear you now. You froze.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, I had one person say that people looked at her as a victim. Anybody that survived something, you're no longer a victim. You're a survivor. So right
Mhm.
now, I also end with saying I am powerful and I am a
Mhm.
survivor of gun violence. And thank you for allowing me on your show to speak.
Where did Yogi go?
I'm
It
not
was
sure.
it,
I'm not sure if we lost Yogi through when we had that bad connection just for a
okay.
few seconds.
Okay.
Yes.
It was such a pleasure to have you here, and it was such a pleasure to have you here, Yolanda. Oh
There's
my,
Thank
Yogi right
you.
there. Yogi, did you have any final words before we hung up?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight and allowing us to have the platform to share some of our secrets or our stories that it can help someone else. Because what happened to us, it was not for us; it was for someone else. And there are so many people that's out there that's shunned from sharing their experience. Because what you need to know is that your experience is your testimony, and
mhm.
your testimony will make room for you. And you know, and not only that, it's just so important that people. There are so many like Yolanda's, the Shwanas, um, and what's your name again? I forgot.
Cindy.
Cindy. Mm-hmm.
Cindy, that's that PTSD or
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
I
that
understand.
trauma, that the trauma, that trauma is real. And
Mm-hmm.
you could forget even your own name. I could be looking at my grandkids and forget who I'm talking to, be like you. But yes, it's just important for us to make sure that we let people know that they're not alone,
And
and
we're
there are support out here,
and
and
we're
because
advocating as well. Don't forget,
advocating,
we're advocating
absolutely,
for trauma centers where you
yes,
can go in because when this stuff
yes,
happened to us, just think Yogi can no longer work again. So that means
hmm,
for the rest of her life, she gonna be on disability. Somebody decided to put her on disability. So
yes.
to have the
I was
trauma
a
center,
self-sufficient, working two jobs. I was working with the Department of Human Services, and I just was doing me for many years, and then all of a sudden my life took a change. So your life can change within a blink of an eye. So don't believe that it won't be you, but until you don't walk in our shoes. Don't judge us, because a lot of people are like, well, you look like you fine, but don't judge the book by its cover, because there's I make it look good. That's because
ah,
I choose to trust
yeah,
and believe that, and trust and believe that. People think I got it all together, but you know what? That's okay. I thank y'all for just the love and support, and just walking with me through this whole journey. So I want to thank you all again.
Yes.
thank you for advocating for survivors of any type of crime. Thank you, Yogi. And I know you do get humble and you don't explain exactly everything you do. The fact that we went down to our capital to change the laws, the fact we went down
Yes,
to our capital to create trauma centers, because right now you need help. You need financial help.
I
Most
do.
victims' compensation is nothing. You're sitting
Mm-hmm.
here.
Hmm.
You still going through a lot of things. You
Mm-hmm.
sitting
Hmm.
up. I couldn't work. I was afraid to work. I was afraid to leave the house.
Yeah, I go through that period as well. I'm going to be speaking on the panel of the conference for the state's attorney on the 17th, and
Oh,
then take that going to the policy retreat on the 19th.
Okay.
So I do a lot. Then I'm on the subcommittee also on the west side of Chicago that I joined, because it's important for us to be get this information out, these resources out for people in these communities. A lot of people don't know about where they can go to get the literature, and some people cannot take things home. We have to we have to be very crafty when we give out this literature for people. We have to also make sure, if we are in public places, give out don't you know, the little not flyers, but they got the little things that you could just tear off, like in the
yes.
bathroom. You could put that in
Yes.
the bathrooms, and then, like, if we're out doing an event, put the little 1-800 number, domestic violence information around the bottle. People
Mm-hmm.
don't pay attention, so we have to be very strategic and very careful when
Yes.
you go,
Yes.
because
I would love
everybody
to be on
cannot.
that committee with you now, Yogi. So make it happen.
And
Oh
once
yeah,
we
most
can, and
definitely.
once we can get, once we know where those resources are, we'll be able to pass it out to other people so we could help them, get the help that they need. We're going to do
Yes.
that. Let me see. We have Juice Naomi. Good night. She said good night. Hi, cuz. Good night. And you have Valerie Lubin. All my cousins are in the house. Yay!
Hey, guys.
Yes.
Okay,
So
yes.
this on the screen, I have put up this, and I felt it was important to do that. These are some of the causes that I am taking
Yes.
on.
Mhm.
Mental health,
Mm-hmm.
Autism, of course, I'm an autism mom. Dwarfism, I'm a dwarfism mom. My daughter was born, with a rare form of dwarfism that a lot of people don't even acknowledge. Okay, and there's so
Mm-hmm.
many mothers who have the children being born with, tonothoracic dysplasia, and then the children are dying within days. And that
Wow.
goes along with October, which is pregnancy and infant loss. I've had a few miscarriages.
I've had one.
Yes, so I've had a few, and I mean a few. So I also, there's domestic violence awareness. I'm advocating for that as well. And I have
Mhm.
this good friend of mine who's fighting, who have fought cervical cancer. I want to speak on that. Breast cancer
Mhm.
is something that women
Yes,
are going through all the time.
most
So, and
definitely.
Alzheimer's and dementia. You know,
Mhm.
we couldn't have said it enough on this show that our trauma, it has caused us to forget
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times.
Yes,
And
Yes. It,
Alzheimer's and dementia is real.
mm-hmm.
yes,
It
it
is,
is. It is. My uncle, he has that now.
yeah.
He has dementia. Yes.
Yes, and so below the shows, that the different segments that I'm having Jamila Silis on Friday at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I think, for that is 10 p.m. GMT, because she's in the UK, and we talk about grief. She's a grief counselor. We talk about grief, and she helps people understand how to cope with grief. And we also have issues that matter, where I'm going to be discussing different topics. The men, I want to hear from the men, and I'm going to bring some men to talk about their issues as well, because I think it is important that we cater both for men and women, not because I have sons, you understand? So we have to know how some of the men think, what are they going through. So I feel that's a good idea. And have global link, where I meet, and if you know anybody, any part of the world, who has a story to tell on Global Link, they're not the same time zone, call me up. Let them hook me up with them. And also my poetry, not forgetting I'm a poet. So these are all the things that I'm passionate about. So invite people to the show, have them follow me, and I'm going to be bringing some really good content. So ladies, it was an amazing, amazing show. It's always a pleasure to have you ladies. Have an awesome, awesome night. And as I always say, you may fail many times before you can succeed, but never let failure be that finality for you. Don't don't cave in, and don't give in to your fears. Like Les Brown said, if you go to fall on your back, because once you can look up, you can get up. Have an
Amen.
amazing night. I love you all, and we'll talk soon.
Mhm. Good
Good
night.
night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.